pleasant evening and a warm welcome to the National News, live on ChannelEye. I'm Delanjali Ananda.
Good evening, I'm Chanita Minpurarachi, and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news. The President says only national requirements should be considered when implementing targeted projects. Emissary Fernando and Pujit Jasundara acquitted and discharged from Easter Sunday attack accusations. The Energy Minister requests the government to remove taxes on fuel. The Prime Minister points out the need to implement productive plans to efficiently conduct development activities. It has been emphasized that journalists and artists have more capacity to build national unity. Russia prepares to conduct a powerful military exercise. On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with local stories. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says only national requirements should be considered when implementing targeted projects. The president said the country goes back in several years before the world when projects planned for the future get delayed. The president mentioned this while on a sudden inspection tour of the Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority this morning. The authority has been established by the Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority Act of No. 35/2007. The aim of the Sustainable Energy Authority is to take measures as a main institution to improve energy efficiency in the country, providing facilities to meet energy requirements productively, efficiently and in an environmental friendly manner, and identifying sustainable energy sources early. The President informed the duty and planning officers about authorities' demand stakeholders management, research, strategy and energy management. The President's aim of the visit was to inquire from the officials of the authority about the possibility of using renewable sources for electricity generation. The President pointed out that the laws are there to eliminate fraud and corruption, but they are not an obstacle to perform correct tasks. The President emphasized that certain groups try to prevent performing right actions and space should not be given to such activities. The President pointed out the need to remove obstacles to make foreign investments in the local energy sector. The President instructed State Minister Duminda Disanayake to expedite fixing solar panels of the roofs of 100,000 and to provide its benefits to low-income recipients. State Minister Duminda Disanayake said that steps will be taken to present the Electricity Board Act to Parliament for amendments to correct shortcomings in the Act when meeting renewable energy targets. The government plans to get 70% of electricity generation through renewable sources by 2030, according to the Vistas of Prosperity statement. It was explored the possibility of getting the contribution of renewable energy sources to overcome energy crisis in the country. Chairman of the authority Ranjit Sepala said 1,258 megawatts should be added to the national grid through renewable energy sources by 2021. The authority pointed out it is not a difficult task to meet 70% of the electricity generation through renewable energy sources by 2030. President's Chief Advisor Lalit Virtunga, Ministry Secretary Vasantaya Pereira, State Ministry Secretary KHDK Samarkon, Electricity Board Chairman Nalindra Ilangakon, Acting General Manager Rohantha Abesekara and officials were present on this occasion. And meanwhile, the Colombo 3-judge bench High Court ordered today to acquit and release former Defence Secretary Emissary Fernando and former IGP Pujit Jasundara from the accusations of Easter Sunday terrorist attack. The order was given by the judge bench consisting of judges Namal Balale, Aditya Patabedige and Mohammad Irshadeen. They have been accused of several charges including negligence of duty for not taking measures to prevent the Easter Sunday terrorist attack when there was sufficient intelligence information. After a lengthy hearing, the justices ordered acquit and release. Justice Mohammad Irshadeen in his order said the Attorney General should have thought twice before filing the case against former Defence Secretary Emissary Fernando. Justice Aditya Patabedige announcing his decision said that acquisitions Emissary Fernando was in a helpless situation when taking decisions according to evidence. Justice Aditya Patabedige said said that it is seen that in the first witness of the case, former head of the State Intelligence Service has neglected his responsibilities and taken steps to place it on the head of the National Intelligence. Announcing the decisions, Justice Mohammad Irshuddin said that according to the evidence given in the court by former head of State Intelligence Lanka accepted that information received by him was not a specific intelligence information. According to the evidence given by former State Defence Minister it was disclosed that limitations had been imposed on the accused Defence Secretary to summon certain persons for intelligence review meetings under the political situation in the country. It was disclosed that the National Intelligence head did not have proper powers according to his evidence. Therefore, Justice Mohammad Irshuddin said that there is no evidence that an intelligence information was given to the accused Defence Secretary by the former State Intelligence head. Further, he said that then the State Intelligence Service had not been able to provide a specific intelligence information on the attack. Justice Namal Balale mentioned that although there was information about an attack, State Intelligence head failed to present a specific information about the day and place about the attack. The justice said although the information stated about attacks on churches or hotels, there was no specific places. It was emphasized that the accused former IGP was practically in difficult position to take steps regarding such information. Announcing his decisions, Justice Aditya Patapandike said that information given by former State Intelligence head Nilantha Jamardana on the imminent attack, former IGP has sent to officers under him to take necessary steps. The justice said that the evidence disclosed that State Intelligence head briefed the state leader on defence matters. Head of the State Intelligence Service is not the head of the police intelligence, but he is the head of the State Intelligence Service. Justice Aditya Patapandike said that he had not discussed the information had received about the attack with Army intelligence and the three armed forces. The justice further said he had possibility to exchange such information, but it was not a problem for not doing so. The Attorney General has filed the case, leveled 855 charges against former Defence Secretary Hemisir Fernando, former IGP Pujija Sundara for criminal negligence on duty and for deaths of 275 persons, injuring nearly 500 persons when there was information members and leaders of Tawhid Jamaat organization Saharan Hashim were preparing to launch suicide bomb attacks at churches and hotels in Colombo between the 7th and 21st of April in 2019 and not taking measures to prevent the attacks.
Minister of Energy Udaya Gammanpila says a written request has been made to the Finance Minister to remove taxes on fuel. During a media briefing in Colombo today, he said that the aim is to minimize loss to the Petroleum Corporation with the increase of oil prices in the world market. Minister Udaya Gammanpila said that Sri Lanka is facing its highest oil prices in the history. The world market recorded the highest price of $147 for crude oil in July 2008. However, $1 was 108 rupees in 2008. When a barrel of crude oil was increased to $95 in the world market on the 15th of February, a dollar was 203 rupees. The barrel of crude oil in July 2008 was 15,876 rupees. It has increased to 19,285 rupees at present. The Finance Ministry earns 368 million rupees daily through taxes. If the taxes are removed, the Petroleum Corporation will be able to recover considerable amount of its loss. According to the calculations of the corporation, a loss of 19 rupees from a litre of 92 petrol and 17 rupees from a litre of 95 petrol occur. Petroleum Corporation said that it loses 52 rupees from a diesel litre, 35 rupees from a super diesel litre and 63 rupees from a litre of kerosene. The corporation loses 551 million rupees per day as it has lost 83,000 million rupees last year. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has emphasized the need to productively plan and implement measures together by everyone in connection with development activities of the country. The Prime Minister mentioned this while attending a review the progress of Ministry of Economic Policies and Plan implementation today. Ministry of Secretary Anusha Palpita and heads of organizations explained to Prime Minister about the problems to improve efficiency of certain departments. Ministry Secretary Anusha Palpita and Government Chief Assessor D.N. Muthukumarana pointed out that the shortage of qualified officials at the department is a problem to implement government development activities expeditiously. The Prime Minister instructed officials to take steps to recruit qualified persons soon. Attention was paid to the island-wide population and housing census by the Department of Population and Statistics. The census is taking place under 3 phases. The Prime Minister, paying his attention on the importance of census for correct information, instructed to complete it soon. State Minister Lasantha Lagiyawana, Secretary to the Ministry of Economic Policies and Plan Implementation, Anusha Palpita, Prime Minister's Head of Staff Yoshitha Rajapaksa, Government's Chief Assessor D.N. Muthukumarana, Director General of Population and Statistics Department, PMP Anurakumara, and a group of state officials were present on the occasion.
And moving to the pandemic update here at home, Health Promotion Bureau says that more than 50% of the targeted population in 4 districts has received the booster dose. Director of the Bureau, Consultant Physician Ranjit Bhatwantudawa, requested the public to get the booster dose to minimize the risk of spreading the disease. Meanwhile, Government Information Department announced that 1,282 COVID patients were found from the country today. The highest number of booster doses to target population has been given in the Mathule district. Booster doses have been given for more than 50% of targeted populations in Kandy, Ampara and Anuradhapura districts.
There are speculations about the termination of the vaccination process. Usually when this type of vaccination program is started, this will be converted into a routine program once the desirable coverage is reached. And from there onward, this vaccination program will continue as a routine activity, but not as a special programs or special events like what we are having at this moment, because at this moment there are a large number of special clinics conducted at hospitals, MOH offices, and also in various places, especially those which the programs conducted by the Triforces cannot be conducted indefinitely. So therefore, we urge public to get their vaccination as early as possible and contribute to reach the coverage, desired coverage within the country, and from there onward, this program could be converted to a routine program, and only those who are entering into the eligible cohort will be newly immunized, for which this program will be continued. But before that, to reach the desired coverage, those who have not got their vaccines up to now need to get their vaccine as early as possible.
The total number of doses of vaccine inoculated in the people in the country under the COVID immunization program is 37,183,235. The first dose have been inoculated on 16,829,089. Meanwhile, the second dose have been established on 14,052,854, while the booster dose have been inoculated on 6 have been delivered on 14,052,292. Meanwhile, Director General of Health Services has confirmed 23 COVID-19 related deaths which have occurred yesterday. 15 of the fatalities were at the age of 60 or above. The remaining 8 victims were between the ages of 30 and 59 years.
Bringing the global update of the pandemic, the World Health Organization has said that countries struggling with surging COVID-19 infections may shorten the recommendation quarantine duration of 14 days in some situations. Meanwhile, COVID-19 has infected more than 420 million people and has led to 5.8 million deaths globally. The United Nations Health Agency has said that it has new guidelines may be helpful for places where essential services are under pressure. A statement from the World Health Organization has said that with the rapid spread of Omicron cases worldwide, contact tracing capacities of many countries have been rapidly overstretched. The organization has emphasized that given the situation, countries may consider a pragmatic approach, considering that contact tracing and quarantine requirements in the community may lead to significant disruptions of essential services, including health services. As an example, the World Health Organization has said that the quarantine period could be shortened to 10 days without a test and to 7 days with a negative test if the person is asymptomatic. The organization has also said that countries may consider relaxing their contact tracing measures in similar situations.
And the modernized Galle Dharmapala Park was visited with the public yesterday by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Dharmapala Park, which is situated near the historic Galle Fort, was getting destroyed due to lack of maintenance. Steps were taken to modernize the park on a request from Minister Ramesh Pathirana and Galle Municipal Council under the Strategic City Development Project of the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing. 200 million rupees have been spent to modernize the park, which includes a fully equipped playground and open-air theatre with lights. The President inspected the park and exchanged views with the people who were there. The President also watched the cultural items performed at the open-air theatre. The President opened the ornamental fish exhibition and information centre constructed at one end of the Dharmapala Park. Ministers Namal Rajapaksa, Ramesh Patirana, Southern Provincial Governor Willie Gamage, Central Provincial Governor Lalit Gamage, State Ministers and a group of people were present on this occasion. The President inspected the technological park which has been built at Goal Walahanduwa area yesterday. 5 technological parks are being built island-wide under the Vistas of Prosperity program. It expects to make Sri Lanka a hub of technological inventions, attracting foreign investments, encouraging new technological companies, promoting industries, targeting exports, creating new employment opportunities, distribution of knowledge, uplifting living standard of people in relevant areas and contributing to the national economy by earning foreign exchange. Technological parks will also be built in Kurunagala, Kandy, Nuwara Eliya and Bamburana areas. The President launched an official emblem of the Goal Technological Park. Constructions of the park, which is located on 30 acres of land, are expected to be completed by the middle of 2023. The technological park will be consisted of modern technological facilities with 5G nano research institutions, entertainment activities, sports blended with natural environment, mental and physical resting places. Minister Ramesh Patirana said that the construction of Goal Technological Park, 2,000 new job opportunities will be created in the area. He said that the project will improve the economy of people in Goal. He said that the President has decided to make a revolutionary change in the technological sector amid challenging 2 years. He said that the hopes given by the President about the educational field is an excellent step for the youth in the country.
තාක්ෂණික ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ විප්ලවීය වෙනසක් කරන්නට ඔබතුමන් තීන්දුව කළා වගේම අධ්‍යාපන ක්ෂේත්‍රය වෙනුවෙන් ඔබතුමන් ලබා දුන් නැවුම් බලාපොරොත්තුව මේ රටේ සමස්ත තරුණ පරපුරටම විශිෂ්ට පියවරක් හැටියට මම සඳහන් කරනවා. අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා මේ වසර අවසන් වීමට පෙර
Minister Namal Rajapaksa said that they believe it would be possible to provide the digital identity card for all citizens before the end of this year. The President has given a period of 30 months to create the path to provide services over the internet from e-Grama Sevaka program to the other presidential secretariat.
During the last 4 decades, Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation was famous for its excellence in television productions. Talking to Rupavahini News, former Director General, Programs and Commercial, Piyadas Ratnasinghe explained the various milestones that Rupavahini achieved during last 40 years.
දාහතරෙනි උදාගම් ජයන්තිය හිට බුත්තල මීගහවැල්ල නිර්මාණය වෙන වෙල්ලස්සේගමදී ආරම්භ වෙයි. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ දෙවන විශාලතම දිස්ත්‍රික්කය මේ මොණරාගල දිස්ත්‍රික්කයයි.
සංවිධාන හා ප්‍රායෝගික වශයෙන් සලකා බලන විට දකුණු ආසියාවට එය අලුත් දෙයක්. සාක් නමින් හැඳින්වෙන දකුණු
I wish to add my greetings to the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation at its 40th anniversary, which is falling on the 15th of February 2022. I joined the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation as a radio producer, being in SLBC for 15 years and having the first trainer in television in Japan as well as locally. However, the first chairman, Mr. M.J. Pereira, wanted me in the general program section as the assistant director planning and presentation. There I could do lot of things for the betterment of the corporation. Starting from making the production procedures, I was able to introduce the artist payment cards as well as other necessary requirements of the corporation. However, the Rupavahini started on the first day after the opening by His Excellency the President Jayawardena, and Chairman wanted to have news on this day at 8 o'clock. I think Mr. Mohan Samaranayaka, who is supposed to be one of the media specialists in Sri Lanka, came across SLBC and prepared the first bulletin of the news telecast. Thereafter, the evening broadcast had to be extended to morning as well, where we introduced number of new programs as well as foreign interesting programs. The first color station in South Asia as Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation have been well taken by the international associations like ABU and Commonwealth Broadcasters Association as well as SARC Program Exchange. We were able to deliver some of our programs to the foreign markets as well because of its quality and color. I wish the corporation all the best during the coming years.
Minister Dallas Alhaperuma says that journalists and artists are more capable of building national unity more than politicians during a function in the Jaffna district. He pointed out that it has been proven in the history. Opening of the Jaffna District Publication Bureau of the Government Information Department took place under the patronage of Minister Dallas Alhaperuma at the Jaffna District Secretariat. It is the 7th Government Publication Bureau. A group of people, including Minister Douglas Devananda, Director General of Government Information Mohan Samaranayaka, MPs Angajan Ramanathan and Suresh Raghavan were present on the occasion. A meeting of Jaffna District journalists had been organised by the Government Information Department to coincide with the event. Minister Dallas Alhaperuma said that a fundamental aspect of democracy is dissent. The problem was that there was dissent without agreement. A presidential award should be given based on regional media.
සංවාදයේ හැමදාම පැවතුණා එකගතාවයක් නැතුව. මේ යාපනයේ ගමන පදනම් කරගෙන අද අපි තීරණයක් ගත්තා ප්‍රාදේශීය මාධ්‍ය පදනම් කරගෙන ඒකටත් ජනාධිපති සම්මානයක් දෙන්නට ඕනි. ජාත්‍යන්තරවත් ඔබට යම් අත්දැකීම් හුමාරු කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපි ඒ අවස්ථාවත් උදා කරගන්න.
Minister Dallas Alhaperuma also visited Delft Island yesterday. Thereafter, he donated Jaffna Delft Xavier Pragza School with a laptop sponsored by Fonterra. A group of people, including Jaffna District MP Angajan Ramanathan, were present on the occasion.
And more on your local stories. Harvesting of organic cultivations in Aliaguda Divisional Secretariat area has commenced. 572 hectares of paddy fields have been cultivated using organic fertilizer. The farmers say that cultivated using liquid fertilizer given by the government on the advice of the agricultural assistant and the fertilizer made by themselves. Harvesting of paddy using organic fertilizer given by the government and liquid fertilizer has commenced in Colombo, Kosgama and Arapanagama areas. Farmers say that used traditional methods successfully.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa paid his last respects to the late Mahanayaka of Siam Mahanikaya, Rohana Mahasangha Council, Mahopadya, Most Venerable Udamalagala Mahinda Thera. The President, who went to Sri Sumanarama Historic Temple at Kottava in Gaul yesterday, paid his last respect to the late Thera. He expressed his condolences to the monks and Dayaka Sabha of the temple and the relatives. A group of people, including Minister Ramesh Patirana, parliamentarians Sampath Athukorala and Isuru Dodangada, were present on the occasion.
Development of the Ratnapura town in a streamlined manner commenced today under the patronage of Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi. The development activities will take place according to short-term and long-term plans. The main development activities, including broadening junctions, constructing pavements and placing electricity and telephone poles and beautification of the city, are scheduled to take place. 1,500 million rupees are scheduled to be spent on the development activities.
The convocation of Navaloka Higher Educational Institute affiliated to Australia's Swinburne Technologist University took place recently at the BMICH in Colombo.
Today, we have more than 200,000 students, according to normal estimates, of children from Sri Lanka who are learning abroad. Now, these children could very well have been learning here as well, provided we had the network to provide them with education. We have taken the steps towards that. I'm actually very encouraged to see these institutions, the local talent of academic staff who are molding students, at least in the first few years. But there is more to be done. I think we need to now recognize that education is a very costly business, where sometimes when children have to go out for education, the parents have to make some serious sacrifices in order to put them through that kind of education. So if we can provide that locally, I'm sure Sri Lanka will do well, and I do hope that we would be able to harness all our energies and to take Sri Lanka to that step, because we do have the ability to do that. We have the skills required, we have the space as well as the infrastructure required, and I think it's now a question of getting down to it. So hopefully in the next few years we would see a transformation of our education system, and I'm also, in my own way and from the point of view of the central bank, we would also encourage the direction of the economy to move so that we can benefit both by our children being retained, our best students being retained in our country and trained in the best way possible according to the international standards, and at the same time making sure that the resources in our country are utilized and we don't need to send resources out as much as we do right now. So it's an interesting challenge for everyone, and I do hope that we'll rise to that challenge the same way that we have risen to the challenges in the past several years.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do that tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.